welcome to the Free Kick Podcast. My name is Todd. Well, it has been a hot minute since I released a new episode, so Happy New Year to you all. I hope everyone's been safe and healthy. But I want to say, welcome to Season 2 of our Union Trivia Podcast. There's a ton of people returning from Season 1, but we also have a lot of new faces coming onto the podcast as well. But these two guys going head-to-head, you guys know them from Season 1. They've both been on the podcast multiple times. Returning is Mr. Ed Fagan and our Season 1 champion, Michael Van Sant. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, Todd. Doing good. Happy birthday. I didn't say it on social media, so this is your official happy birthday.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Happy birthday. Since you said it first, Ed, there's plus 2 points for you right away. Sorry, Michael.
I knew it.
Beat you to it.
That's all right.
But I hope you guys have been good. And before we talk about the first topic I want to bring up before we get into the game, I just want to tell everybody, I said it on Twitter, but if you guys don't follow the podcast on Twitter, I said for the round of 16, there's going to be themes for the round of 16. So what I mean by that is that the questions are going to deal with a specific Union season. And so for Ed and Michael, today's theme for them is going to be the 2017 Philadelphia Union season. And now the questions are all going to deal with the regular season only unless I say otherwise. So does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
All right. So first topic I want to talk about, because I feel like I should have made so many more podcasts prior to this to talk about, Brenden Aaronson, Ernst Tanner, Jim Curtin, their press conferences, who's going to be coming in to replace Mark McKenzie and Brenden Aaronson. But the first thing I want to talk about is Mark McKenzie. It's official. It's been official for a minute. He got the start over the weekend for Genk. And I know, Michael, you're a Celtic supporter, and it looked like for the longest time he was going to Celtic. So are you bummed that he didn't make his way to Celtic?
It's a bit of a mixed reaction because I'll be honest. Well, one, Celtic are kind of a laughing stock right now in terms of they're second in the league, which isn't awful, but they're just there's been a lot of catastrophes going on and a lot of kind of questionable things. But Mark would have definitely been a great help there. But I'm not going to deny that I think Belgium is a better league. I think both are great stepping stones, and I think they're 2 season tops anyways. And I think then he'll be looking at either a Big Five or I think just a Big Five, honestly, or some giant club. But I think even a giant club outside the Big Five at this point may, if he does well, and Genk may even be beneath him. I really think the sky's the limit for him.
What about you, Ed? Yeah,
I'm not like a Scottish league fan particularly, but watching McKenzie over the years, he especially this season, he took such a big step. I mean, I thought he was a runner-up for Defender of the Year, or was in the nominations or whatever. But I think Belgium's a good spot. I think they have a chance. Genk has a chance at qualifying for Champions League, and if he could do that, it would just be huge for his career. But I think it's going to be good for his career either way. And I think, like Mike said, I don't think this is a permanent, any kind of like a long-term solution. This is just to get him into Europe, get his feet wet. He looked good in the game. I didn't watch a whole lot of it. It was a little early. I watched some of it. It was kind of hard to get the stream. I had the stream on my phone, but not on the TV for some reason. But I watched some of it, and they kind of play a weird system that I couldn't quite track him super well. It's like one of those like 3 to 5 in the back sort of things. So it's going to be like a work in progress, him fitting in there. But I'm looking forward to watching it. I'm going to watch him. I'm going to watch Aaronson whenever I can. It's going to be interesting to watch.
But we can all agree, though, for Brenden Aaronson, nobody here is buying a Red Bull Salzburg jersey, right?
No, I can't do it.
Good.
The one he wore in the most recent game was like blue and yellow, and I'm like, that's pretty close. You can almost wear that, but the Red Bull logo on the front.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
the Red Bull logo.
If anything, I'm looking at a McKenzie Genk one. I
already pulled the trigger on that.
Oh, did you?
They have a collector's McKenzie jersey with an American flag on the right arm. It's great. But I don't know when it's gonna, with shipping and all that from Belgium to here, and with the American postal system right now, who knows when that will show up. But I'm looking forward to when it does show up. I'll post something about it.
Hey, I look forward to it. I mean, the Belgian club knows how to pull the strings of our American hearts, right? So,
Exactly. Great move by
but
them.
now that I got you guys, off track and everything, you guys are like, "Oh, this is so easy." Just talking about players that have left the club and everything. You're like, "Oh, maybe you won't ask me hard questions." Well, first topic we're going to start with, like we were in season 1, is 5 and 25. So, if you guys are new, 5 and 25 is where I ask the contestants 5 questions in 25 seconds. The clock starts after I read the first question. If a contestant doesn't know the answer, they can say skip, and we can go back to the question if time permits. Each question will be worth 2 points each, and I will, at the end of that round and everything, I'll give you guys your point total. I won't say right, wrong, and everything because it takes up way too much time. So, since Michael, you are the defending champion, I thought, you know what? Let's go ahead and start with Ed. So, Ed, we're going to start with you first.
All right, I like it. I'm good going first.
All right, so are you good, Ed? All right, here we go. Question 1 for you, Ed. Who led the Union in goals in 2017?
CJ Sapong.
Who was picked 77 in the 17 Super Draft?
Skip.
Who led the Union in yellow cards in 17?
Bedoya.
Who was the Union's first game of 2017 against?
New England.
And how many wins did the Union win in 17?
14.
And who was picked 77 in the 17 Super Draft?
I'm just drawing a blank on it.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, so we'll go ahead and go on that question. So who was picked 77 in the 2017 Super Draft? That would be Mr. Super Jack Elliott in the 4th round. Next question I asked you, though, who led the Union in goals in 2017? That would be CJ Sapong. He led the Union in 16, and nobody's come close since. I think Casper, in 2019, he was 2 off, I believe it was. But
yeah, last year he had a better year.
But, yeah, I mean, it's crazy that CJ Sapong is the leading goal scorer in a season for the Union. Question number 3, I asked you, who led the Union in yellow cards in 17? That would be Ali Bedoya with 6. Who was the Union's first game of 2017 against? That would be the Vancouver Whitecaps. That game ended 0-0. And, the last question I asked you, how many wins did the Union have in 17? That was just a random one I threw in there. That would be 11.
Okay. Yeah, I think I overshot that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Ed, you did get on the board, so you went 4 for 10 in that round, so not bad at all. So you got that off your back. And here we go, Michael. We're going to you. So are you ready?
Yes, and that I think I would have had 4 or 10 too, so that was well done.
Well, here we go, Ed. Michael, sorry. Your first question is, who led the Union in assists in 2017?
Pass.
Who was the Union's first pick in the 17 Super Draft?
Yarrow.
Who led the Union in red cards in 17?
Allberg.
Who did the Union play on the opening day in 17? Their opening day.
New England.
And how many losses did the Union have in 17?
12.
And then, and the buzzer just went off, so I can't even ask you that question again. So, we'll start with the first one. Who led the Union in 2017 in assists? That would be Harris Manunion. He had 12 on the season. Question number 2. Who was the Union's first pick in the 17 Super Draft? That would be Marcus Epps. In the second round, picks 25. And you said Josh Yarrow for that. Well, who led the Union in red cards in 17? That would be Josh Yarrow and Derek Jones.
God.
Both of them had one apiece. Question number 4. Who did the Union play on their opening day in 17? You both said Toronto, New England, but it would be Toronto. That game ended 2-2, and your favorite Philadelphia Union jersey that you have, Michael, Jay Simpson scored on that day along with CJ Sapong.
Wow.
And how many losses did the Union have in 2017? That would be 14. And unfortunately, Michael, you were not able to get on the board. You went 0 for 5.
That's okay. That's all right. That stumped me.
It did. A lot harder questions. Like I said, when I gave you guys in season 1 just random questions, it's like, okay, this is a little bit easier. And I feel like at the time the questions probably were easier. But now that it's a specific season, it makes you think a little bit harder. And the questions are definitely a little bit harder. So for the people that are going after you guys start studying because the questions aren't cupcake questions like they were last season. But let's go ahead to true and false, and we're going to stay with you, Michael. As always, This is really self-explanatory. You get 5 questions each, and it's 1 point each. So, Michael, whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Here we go. Question 1 for you, Michael. True or false? The Union had 2 designated players on their roster in 2017.
False.
That would be true. That would be Ali Bedoya and Maurice Adu.
Oh, dude was still on the roster. That's right.
He was indeed. Here we go. Question number 2 for you, Michael. True or false, the Union had no players win Player of the Week in 2017? No players won Player of the Week.
False.
That is false. Do you know who won Player of the Week?
I would think Sapong had to. Didn't he have a hat trick that year?
Yep, it was. CJ Sapong won Player of the Week in Week 10 for his hat trick against New York Red Bulls. So you're on the board with 1 point so far, Michael. Here we go.
I just need to get on the board.
Right. Here we go. Question number 3 for you, though. True or false, the Union had 2 players on the 2017 roster born in Ghana?
You said 2 players?
Yes, 2 players born in Ghana.
False.
That was true. It was only Josh Yeo and Derek Jones.
Thinking Akam.
Yep. Akam was not on the roster as of yet.
He was 18.
He was still on Chicago. Here we go. Question number 4 for you. The Union made the quarterfinals in the U.S. Open Cup in 2017.
They could have made the quarter. False, though.
You're right. It is false. They lost to New York Red Bulls on penalties 5-3. So they were close, but nope, they lost to the New York Red Bulls. And here we go. Question number 5 for you. True or false? The most goals the Union scored in a game was 5 against Orlando City.
False.
It is false. Do you know how many goals they scored?
6?
They did score 6. Do you know against who?
New England?
It was Orlando. It was not New England. It was Orlando. So I tried to trick you out right there. So they did score the most goals against Orlando City, but it wasn't 5. It was 6. So, Michael, you were definitely on the board, which you would take. And right now, you have 3 points compared to Ed's 4. So it's a tight game. But, Ed, you still have time to add on to your point tally with these next 5 questions. So are you ready, sir?
Yes, let's go.
Here we go. Question number 1. True or false? The Union had 3 homegrown players on their roster in 2017. 3 homegrowns.
I'll say true.
It is true. So it was Austin Trusty, Derek Jones, and Adam Najam, which technically he was a player at New York Red Bulls, and he was their homegrown player, but the Union had to trade for the rights, which then qualified the Union for technically as their homegrown player. So that was 3 homegrown players right there for the Philadelphia Union in 2017. Question number 2, though, for you, Ed. True or false? Andre Blake leads the Union's... Ooh. I will go back to that question. Sorry. True or false? The Union had no German players on the roster in 2017.
No German players?
No German players, yep. Born in Germany.
I'll say false.
Yep, you're right. That is false. Do you know the player that was born in Germany?
I know the name Kai something.
Not Kai Wagner, no.
No, but
no Kai at all either. He still plays in the league. Do you know it, Michael?
Who was it? It's the name. I can't remember the name.
Is it Fabian Herbers?
It is Fabian Herbers.
I knew it was a winger. I couldn't think of the guy's name.
Yep, it was Fabian Herbers. Question number 4 for you, Ed. True or false? The longest losing streak the Union had in 2017 was a 5-game one.
17. I'll say true.
That is false. The longest losing streak the Union had in 2017 was a 4-game losing streak, and that was at the beginning of the season against Orlando, DC United, Portland, and New York City FC. And your second to last question, because I messed up on the Andre Blake one. Second to last right here. True or false? The most goals the Union conceded on the season was 3.
The most they conceded. I'll say true.
It was true, and that happened multiple times on the season against Atlanta, Toronto, Montreal twice, New England, and Portland Timbers. And the last question for you, Ed, was Andre Blake had the most clean sheets for the Union in 2017.
Did Andre Blake have the most clean sheets? I'll say true.
It was indeed true. It was indeed true. And the reason I stopped on that question was because I had it to Andre Blake has the most wins out of goalies from 2017-2019, which I was like, yeah, that's this isn't the 2019-2020 season. I was like, this is the 2017 season. So, yep, you did get that one right, Ed. And you wound up going 4 for 5. And the score is 8 for Ed, 3 for Michael. And guys, it comes down to this final section like it always does, which is name the Union player. So in the final category, contestants will go head-to-head against each other and guessing the Union player I'm describing. I'll give 5 clues, and contestants can buzz in whenever they think they know the player. Contestants will buzz in by saying their own name. If a contestant answers wrong, that will freeze them out until the next question. Each question will be worth 3 points each, except clue 5, which is when I give you guys the player's first name. That will give you guys 1 point each instead of 3. And remember, guys, the players that I'm describing all played for the Union in 2017, but what I'm describing about them might not have happened in 2017. So the players were in the roster in 2017, but some of the hints might not have happened in 17.
Okay.
But guys, I'll let you guys catch your breath right here. The suspension, we're going to keep it going and everything. Are you guys concerned at all that the Union haven't made any signings so far in the winter transfer window?
I'm not, but I have a lot of trust in Ernst Tanner at this point. And I think Kevin Kincaid touched on this a little bit on his podcast. They don't leak anything anymore. And they don't posture in the media. They don't use the media to posture to like force conversation. Every once in a while, something will get out or a rumor will get out. And I think the latest rumor is that it's Argentine center back, left-footed center back. I've heard, and it looks like the kind of guy that would replace McKenzie, but it's like, it's Fort Knox over there and you can't get anything out of them. So you kind of just have to wait and see. And, a few years ago, I'm not so optimistic about it. I'm more of a show me attitude before, but the last few years, they've kind of earned the right to dictate how they do this.
Absolutely. What about you, Michael?
I completely agree with Ed. It's in the Tanner we trust right now. He's really, I think, made very few mistakes and found a lot of gems. And the nucleus being there already, we've lost a few key players, McKenzie and Aaronson being the main two. But the academy being so strong and him knowing that the academy is so strong, I think resonates a lot with the fans, and I think gives them that I don't want to say extra leash because there really isn't any kind of threat there. It's just, I think also in the past, I was itching more, and I think it was because we were just really grasping for something. We didn't have a lot going for us. Now we not only just have our best season and finally something in our trophy case, we actually have a lot of still very good players, still relatively young players. Matt Freese, for God's sake, just made the goalkeeper selection for the U.S. men's team. So there's a lot of promise there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the one thing we all know is the Union have a ton of money because of the sales of Mark McKenzie and Brenden Aaronson. And you're right, people just want any sort of news and everything. But I think, if anything, Ernst Tanner has showed us that he's not going to go out and sign a player just to sign him. He's going to sign a player that's going to be able to play in the diamond formation, a player that's young, and more times than not, a player that's unknown in Europe. I mean, the only player that people might have known was Marco Fabian, and we've talked about this multiple times on the podcast where that might not have even been Ernst Tanner's guy. That might have been Jay Sugarman saying, hey, look, go out and sign Marco Fabian, and hopefully that brings in Mexican national fans into the stadium. But I'm not worried at all, and I'm sure as we go on with this game show, I'll be talking about it more with fans. But let's go ahead, guys, with player number 1. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Player number 1, jersey number 23. Hint number 2, kept his first clean sheet of the season against Columbus. Hint number 3, played college soccer at LaSalle.
Mike.
Go ahead, Mike.
It's McCarthy.
It is indeed John McCarthy. Here we go. And the other hints for that was current goalkeeper at Inter Miami. And hint number 5 was first name John McCarthy. Well, that's big points that you needed right there, Mike.
Yeah, I needed that.
So here we go, guys. Player number 2, jersey number 27. Signed from Leyton Orient.
Mike.
Go ahead, Mike.
I have to get, it's my boy, Jay Simpson.
It is indeed Jay Simpson.
I earned his jersey. It's my good luck charm in this contest.
It is, right? The only time anybody can ever say that, right?
Yes. He can't say it.
No, he can't, no. And the other hints for that was born in England, played in the Arsenal Academy, and first name Jay Simpson. So it's back-to-back points, but Ed, you still have plenty of opportunity to keep up your lead. So here we go. Player number 3. Hint number 1 is a defender. Hint number 2, registered 1 assist. Hint number 3, was born in the Netherlands.
Mike.
Good, Mike.
Wijnaldum?
It was indeed Wijnaldum. The other hint for that was hint number 4, brothers with Gigi Wijnaldum of Liverpool. And first hint, Gianlino Wijnaldum. And so here we go, guys. Player number 4, Ed, you are still in this, but I will tell you, all the pressure is on you for these next 2. So just be thinking about that. So here we go. Player number 4, hint number 1 is a midfielder. Hint number 2, 8th all-time on the Union's all-time scorer list. Hint number 3, scored go ahead, Ed.
Is it Alberg?
It is indeed. That's huge from you right there, Ed, because I think right here that this one would have gave it away for you guys. Hint number 3, scored a hat-trick against Chicago in 2016. Hint number 4, jersey number 10, first name Roland Alberg. Roland Alberg is the player. And guys, here we go. Player number 5. Hint number 1 is a defender. Hint number 2, played college soccer at Georgetown. Hint number 3, drafted 3rd overall in the 2016 Super Draft. Go ahead, Ed.
Josh Yara?
It is not. Now here we go, Michael. Just sit back and remember, hint number 5, or you can come in and get hint number 4, because remember, if you wait for hint number 5, that's only 1 point. So here we go. Hint number 4.
What's the score? How much do I need to win?
How much? Oh man, putting Shelby under the pressure while we wait. Oh man, it's like Jeopardy, right? It's like, how much do I wager? How much do I wager? And so you are winning, Michael, by 1 point.
Okay.
So here we go. Hint number 4. Traded to Colorado.
Okay, it is Keegan.
It was indeed Keegan Rosenberry.
And if it helps, if I beat you out, I would have lost because I thought it was Yaro too.
I was just going for the Hail Mary at that point. I was just trying to beat you. I was just trying to get in before you got it.
Yeah, you had to risk it, right? So, yeah, I mean, a close game. And like Ricky Zelfro said on Twitter, I mean, how is it that 2 semifinalists somehow drew against each other in the first game?
Well, that's random.
Makes no sense.
That's just tough. That's just bad luck because, I mean, Ed's a guy who shouldn't be going out in the first round.
No, you're not, Ed. No, you are not. And it is unfortunate, but the final score ends up being Michael 15, Ed with 11 points. And Michael, I mean, you got squished with 5 and 25, made a little bit of a comeback in true or false, but then Ed just kept the pressure on. And I mean, you put the pressure on and guess the Union player in the first 3. And like you said, Ed, you just had to throw up a Hail Mary there for player number 5 because, if you would have got that right, you would have won the game. But so close and everything. And congratulations, Michael. And I guess it's no wonder that you're the defending champion, right?
I'll take that. I'll be the 16 that loses to the 1 in the first round of the NCAA.
Even though you should no way be a 16, but somehow you are, right?
It's the whole starting lineup must have got hurt like the whole season for him to be a 16. But that was, I just in my mind was thinking, okay, Todd likes to throw out in the last round some wacky players who can, and I thought of, well, Wijnaldum's a really wacky one because
that was a good pull. Because with Netherlands I might have gotten there, but I wasn't getting there right away.
Yeah, I figured, let me throw in a Liverpool player in here because Ed's a Liverpool fan, and I knew I was going to mention Celtic earlier because Michael's a Celtic fan. So I both give you questions for people, teams that you guys support, and it was a crazy question that I threw in there at the end. And it just sucks, right, Ed, that you're going out already where you made it to the semifinals last year. But I know throughout the season I'll definitely have you back on the podcast because you're always a blast to talk to. And Michael,
I'm better at those anyway.
Exactly, you're not time.
I talk way more on any of the other ones. This one, I'm all bound up and anxious.
Absolutely, but Michael, you are going on to the next round. We will find out once we do the drawing. Once we get done the other games, you will play. But congratulations again, Michael, for moving on.
Yes,
thank you, and Ed, that was a really good one. That was probably one of the closest ones.
I like when it comes down to the last question. If I can make it that far, I'm happy with it.
Would you both agree that the questions were tougher this time than you can remember from any of the episodes last season?
Well, yeah. Well, I didn't realize you were going in the yearly theme direction.
You missed that on
So
Twitter.
I was, doing my prep for this. I'm just looking up all the league leaders from last year. I'm like, I don't really know the stats from last year. Let me check all the league leaders from last year before this. Of course, no questions from last year.
Yeah, right. Nothing from last year. And, like, it's so unfortunate, too, that I chose you guys to be the first game. Like, I just was like, I'll ask these guys to go first, when I guess I probably should have let you guys go last because you were both semifinalists. Michael's the defending champion. But I'm like, let's go ahead and get the most anticipated game out of the way right away. And, hopefully the other games can live up to the hype and the drama that this one had in it.
Well, I'm glad I just get to listen to them all now. They're fun to. I pretty much know. I think I know almost everybody in it now. There's a few names in there that I might not know, but I know most of the people in it. It's going to be fun to listen to.
Oh, well, it'll get us revved up for the season.
Absolutely.
And it baffled my mind, and I think it was a lot before the last question, which was kind of do or die. But then I was like, wow, we've gone a long way. That Roland Alberg was our number 10, and now look at where we are in just a few years.
Yeah, and for the longest time, he was up there as the number 2 and 3 all-time scorers for the Union. Now he's all the way at number 8. So, yeah, we definitely come a long way, right?
Yeah, we finally passed him.
Yeah. Absolutely. But before I let you guys go, where can everybody find you on social media?
All right, I'll go first. At BuzzkillEd on Twitter and Instagram. No more Facebook. I follow back all Union fans on Twitter, and it's fun to brigade the local sports radio stations when they turn on us, because it's always hilarious, because all the 200 or so Union fans that I follow will gang up on them, and it's just funny. But yeah, at BuzzkillEd on Twitter, and everybody live tweets the games and live tweets the news, and it'll be fun on there.
Absolutely. What about you, Michael?
I'm just MDS Union on Twitter, Michael Stewart on Facebook. But yeah, I just kind of do a lot of the soccer stuff on there, particularly the Union. I'm with that. I don't really like the sports radio people. I think I emailed Angel once right before, like, we got a big chance to win like a title, and he's like, well, in 30 years of doing this, no one's ever talked soccer. I'm like, well, the leagues, or the team didn't have it in like 30 years, and it's building, but there's I could talk about that for hours. I'm sure Ed could too.
Everybody could.
The hypocrisy there, but yeah, no, it's just nothing really promoting or anything, but just any Union fan, I'm happy to talk to.
Absolutely. And if you guys aren't following the podcast on social media, follow on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Free Kick Pod. Check out the website, thefreekickpodcast.com, wherever you get your podcasts, The Free Kick. Todd Lewis. And once again, congratulations to Michael for advancing to the round of 8. And Ed, I'm sure we will speak very, very soon in regards of whatever Union news we can talk about.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
And with that said, my name is Todd, and this is the Free Kick Podcast.